14 states are supporting Texas and their stand against the federal Biden administration. All of them are mostly the South, including Texas. It's looking like history is repeating itself.
한국군사위원회 위원장 이병철 알았습니다.
열병부대 차렷! 열병 행진은 정대 단위로 한 표시명 거리로.
Today, the members of the Science and Security Board moved the hands of the Doomsday Clock forward, largely, though not exclusively, because of the mounting dangers in the war in Ukraine. We moved the clock forward the closest it has ever been to midnight. It is now 90 seconds to midnight.
Steadfast Defender 24 will be the largest NATO exercise in decades, with participation from approximately 90,000 forces from all 31 allies, plus our good partner, Sweden. The alliance will demonstrate its ability to reinforce the Euro-Atlantic area via transatlantic movement of forces from North America. This reinforcement will occur during a simulated emerging conflict scenario against a near-peer adversary. Steadfast Defender 24 will be a clear demonstration of our unity, our strength, and our determination to protect each other, to protect, of course, our values and the rules-based international order.
You need to have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make sure that you can survive the first 36 hours. Things like that. That's simple things. But it starts there. The realization that not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be honky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans. That's why we are preparing for a conflict with Russia and the terror groups, if it comes to it, if they attack us. We're not seeking any conflict. But if they attack us, we have to be ready.
Leaked classified documents from Germany reveal that world leaders are now preparing for Russia to launch World War III. They would expand the war on Ukraine by attacking NATO countries next year. Next year, there's a timetable here. Member of the House Armed Services Committee, Congressman.
Germany prepares for war with Russia. Recently, the German media published an article. German Ministry of Defense is ready to go to war with Russia after the failure of the Ukrainian armed forces. Germany is preparing for a war between NATO and Russia, according to the scenario of the German Ministry of Defense. This war could begin in the summer of 2025, according.
Black Ram 313 with a behind the veil type of video. Man, brothers, as well as you ninjas, I understand that we're in a constant state of disbelief. You get desensitized to what happens on the media. So what's happening all throughout the world, the Middle East and Asian nations and Ukraine, Russia, all of this build up for WW3, we get desensitized a little bit, and we're not really keying in on exactly the time that we're living in. What did Jesus or Yeshua say? That you can discern the face of the sky, but you can't discern the times. Well, the time that it appears that we're living in, quite obviously to me, is that we're about to go to World War III. Now, I don't like to be old gloom and doom, gloomy gang in the building. However, being aware is to be alive, and being aware is about the real pill, man. And I just don't feel good about this one, especially since most people are distracted with entertainment and not really understanding or even conversing about the seriousness of the hour that we're in. We have military engagements all over the world that at any moment could kick off something that there's no turning back from or any recovery from. Let that sink in for a minute. So recently, the group of atomic scientists met and said, hey, we've been doing this for quite a number of years, and now we set the doomsday clock at a minute and a half, 90 seconds toward midnight because of what's going on in Ukraine. And we haven't even seen China make moves yet. We see what Iran and Pakistan has been going through. We see what's happening in the Middle East. We see all of these things. We see what's happening in our own backyard in Venezuela. We see what's happening in Ecuador. The world is truly in an upheaval, and alliances are being made. And I think this is the season where we'll go to WW3. NATO chief says, hey, you need to start preparing food and water 36 hours. Yeah. Well, 36 hours won't be enough. He's telling the NATO members, which includes the USA, to get prepared. Now, that is your sign right there. The media, they, of course, they wouldn't want to panic you, would they? Of course not. Keep it on the low. 36 hours of food you need to get. When they say 36 hours, I'm thinking more like 36 months, 42 months, 54 months as this thing spirals out of control. Are you being warned? Oh, yeah, I know you like to talk about this and talk about that and deny the words that I'm saying. I know you like that. But are you playing yourself? Is this your warning? Is this my warning? Is this our warning to get yourself together, to get your stuff situated, sorted out? Whatever that might look like for you. Preparations for what's coming. Hugging mom and dad if you are blessed enough to have them still. Spending time with your family, daughter, son, auntie, uncle, nephew, nieces, loved ones, spouses, brother, sister. Is it time to get on that phone to talk to somebody you haven't talked to in a long time and say, hey, I still care about you? Is it go time? Germany is prepared. UK is prepared. Russia's prepared. But Americans, well, as long as they're football and basketball, the Kardashians and the celebrities, we seem to be just fine. Or is that the trap? Oh, Ram, distraction from this, distraction from that. No, sir. The real distraction is the entertainment that us as Americans have an obsession with. Beyonce likes ketchup is what we care about. Oh, what did Kevin Hart say? Oh, what did Cat Williams say? Oh, what did Steve Harvey do? What did Steve Harvey say? Oh, this and that and the other. Celebrity worship. Meanwhile, the world is prepared for war. And again, listen, I'm not saying I don't look and talk about celebrity stuff. That's so I can be distracted from all the other things that I'm thinking about during the day. But the balance here, because I'm not saying don't listen to the entertainment. The balance here is, what are you doing? Where's your beans? Where's your rice? Where's your self-protection device? Hey, that rhymes. Where's your beans? Where's your rice? Where's your self-protection device? Black Ram always dropping bars, man. Always rhyming. But consider the seriousness of the hour, because we may be going into the shock of the hour. Now, I'm not no pastor, prophet, teacher. I don't have an organization. I'm not a religious man. But I have to recount this story because it's so potent to me, and maybe it might mean something to you. I don't know. But I'm going to share this, I think, one last time, unless I'm on the live stream and it comes up. But I think it's appropriate here. And I'm not trying to give myself credit. And I'm not trying to push any agenda to make you think that I'm something when I'm not. I'm just a ninja from the west side of Chicago. Before Russia went into Ukraine, I had some serious thoughts. And I was telling the brothers, hey, I think this is about to kick off. And I really think it is. And the brothers like, no. It's just a distraction. Just a distraction. It's not going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. But I was awakened in the middle of the night. And I went into my living room, man. And I had this overwhelming feeling. I'm not finna sit up here and say it was God talking to me, because I can't fathom such a thing and can't prove of such a thing. But I'm going to say I had an impression. Impression on my heart, my spirit, my soul, man. And I began to weep and heavy-hearted into tears. And something spoke to me. Could have been my own mind. I don't know, man. But something spoke to me and it was clear like this. Or at least the impression that I got. So it went something like, hey, you have seen world events escalate and then calm down over and over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where it's like, ain't nothing happening. But then something spoke to my heart and said, hey, that time is over. This right here is the real deal. It's not going to go back down. It's going to continue to escalate. And now is the time. But what time is it? Well, I believe it's WW3 time. So what is the time and what needs to be done? I think we are on the brink of the end of civilization, in my opinion. Am I 100% sure about this? Of course not. Could I be wrong? You betcha. Do I hope I'm wrong? Yes, I do. Shout out to the Gloomy Gang, but this is serious business. And that impression I got that night, so far, it's been right, because it's only revved up, ratcheting up little by little, bit by bit, piece by piece. And before you know it, we'll be in full-blown military conflicts around the world. And people will be like, what happened? But these are the signs of the times. Jesus said, Yeshua said, Yahushua said, you can discern the face of the sky, but can you discern the times? And the drum beats of WAR are beating louder and louder and louder. Are you listening? What can we do, Ram? Real simple. Prep as much as you can. Love your family. Me personally, I want to spend more time with my fam. Get a couple of trips out the way, because it might be time to sit down real soon. So let me prophesy. Again, I'm not a psychic prophet, preacher, or teacher, prognosticator, but I'm going to prophesy anyway. The hashtag Ram was right. I felt that it was inevitable that Russia would go into Ukraine when everybody said it wasn't. So I'm going to give my own time frame. Take it with a grain of salt for whatever it's worth. And let's say this is for entertainment purposes, although I'm speaking from the heart. I think there will be WW3 if we keep living in our lifetime. And before the end of this decade, I think you will have full-fledged WAR with American troops on the ground. Yes. By the end of the decade, if I need to be more specific, I would say by 2026, the middle of 2026, I think we will be involved. And I believe between 2026, because I think it might start off slow, by 2028, the world as we know it will be quite different. Now, there is a chance that cooler heads can prevail and things could calm down, simmer down a bit. But it looks like there is no choice but to keep going. Because what would ultimately happen with Ukraine? Well, NATO wants to make them a member. They said that was clear. Russia saying, no, that can't happen. Compromise on any side is dangerous for any side. At this point, if you don't win in Ukraine as NATO, well, that's a really big pushback at you. And you look relatively weak to the rest of the world. And then you have a whole country that's overrun and overtaken by another, which you claim that you are a peacekeeper in that region and you provide stability in that region. So if Ukraine fails, then the whole idea of you bringing stability, the whole reason for NATO, well, then it's null and void, isn't it? If Russia loses and Ukraine becomes a full NATO country with missiles on the border, that's a no, because that poses an existential threat to Russia. Backing Vladimir's back into a wall. Not to mention all of the tension, rhyming again, that we have right here in the United States with this very contentious presidential election, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You got red states that are really at it with blue states over the migrant situation and more. So there's a lot going on internally inside the United States and, of course, geopolitically outside. And then we're on the solar maximum. Some people prognosticate and expect possibly a solar flare. Possibly. Now, I can't substantiate this. Do your research, draw your own conclusion. This is for entertainment purposes only. But 2024 seems like there's a lot in store. Something's definitely strange and it doesn't look good. And there are no Ghostbusters to call. Just want you to think about some of these things. And yes, we're going to talk about the creature. We're going to talk about the subject. We're going to talk about the entertainment world. But we're going to balance all of that out, most high willing, but behind the veil, by prepping, keeping aware and alert of what's going on in the world, and doing the best we can to survive any scenario that might come our way, because the real pill is about awareness. This video, this channel doesn't get a lot of views, doesn't get a lot of support. However, I still think the message is necessary. And if you think so as well, hit that like button. Black Ram 313. Just reporting the news. I'm out.